Good morning, and thank you for joining us for our weekly press conference. We have a great crowd here today. You'll hear more about some of them in a few minutes. Today, the focus of our press conference is on what's ahead for Celebrate Erie. Before we are done, we will also recognize students in Gannon's Global Leadership Summer Camp and provide a reminder about August being voter registration month here in Erie. First, we'll talk about the main event, Celebrate Erie, which runs from next Friday, August 18th, through Sunday, August 20th, right here in downtown Erie. This is the largest festival in the Erie region, and my team works hard to make it better every year. Thanks to our sponsors, thanks to Cafe Board, the volunteers, and members of my team who have organized this event, we are looking forward to a 3-day celebration of a local food, art, culture, business, families, and music. What I love about Celebrate Erie is that it brings us together as a community. Celebrate Erie truly celebrates our talented local people who make Erie such a wonderful place to live, work, and play. I'll now turn it over to our leader of the Celebrate Erie team, our events manager, Adrienne Gannon. She will give you an overview of what's ahead the next week. Adrienne, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'm as excited about Celebrate Erie as you are. Once again, and better than ever, beginning next Friday, August 18th, downtown Erie will be filled with the best that Erie has to offer. But none of this would be possible without our presenting sponsors, Highmark, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and AHN St. Vincent Hospital. We're beyond grateful for their support. Celebrate Erie will fill 5 blocks of State Street from 4th to 9th, and will be centered on Perry Square. You'll experience it all, including a marketplace of more than 30 local vendors of all types and cultures. One of these vendors is Melancholy clothing brand. Gabby Reyes, creator of Melancholy, shared with us that Celebrate Erie allows them to meet people where they are and to share the experience for those who are not aware of their brand. And this also expands their reach. You can check out Melancholy clothing brand and many other local businesses in the Erie Insurance Marketplace. East Perry Square will also be filled with activities, games, crafts, and performances geared towards families, thanks to VNet. Also bring your appetite because we'll have local favorites including Spanglish Skillet, the brewery at Union Station, and Connie's Ice Cream, just to name a few. If you're into sports, the Erie Police Athletic League will hold a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, which is sponsored by PNC Bank. Please be sure to stop by and watch. Additionally, on Friday and Sunday, a 3-point contest is open to the public, and a cornhole tournament will be held on all 3 days. The 3-point contest and cornhole tournament are both sponsored by National Fuel. For runners, sign up for the Celebrate Erie Mayor's Cup races, which will take off at 8 a.m. on Sunday, August 20th at 3rd and State Streets. Of course, the always popular Chalk Walk returns to Celebrate Erie. It will be located on State Street between 8th and 9th Streets and is sponsored by Marquette Savings Bank. This year, VNet's flagship city esports invitational will also take place during Celebrate Erie at the Gannon Recreation and Wellness Center. This is just a sample of what you'll find at the festival, but lastly, it wouldn't be Celebrate Erie without music. We'll have plenty of it, and it's all free. On all 3 days of Celebrate Erie, August 18th through 20th, beginning around noon, find local bands on the Perry Square stage, sponsored by Pennsylvania Lottery, and located in West Perry Square. The family stage, located in East Perry Square, and the living room stage with acoustic acts, located on State Street between 7th and 8th Streets. And then there are our headliners. We're thrilled to welcome these exciting acts to the Northwest Bank main stage. On Friday, the Erie All-Stars will present their tribute to Fleetwood Mac. On Saturday, we'll welcome Flo Rida to the main stage. And on Sunday, platinum-selling country act Parmalee will take the stage. All main stage headline shows begin at 8 p.m., and the stage will be located at 4th and State Street. The general admission viewing area will extend south of that stage. New this year will be the addition of video screens at the Perry Square stage. This will project a live feed of the 8 p.m. headlining show. This will be a nice option for families with strollers, wagons, and chairs. None of that will be permitted in the main stage area for safety reasons. You can find more information about all of these events and more on our website at CelebrateErie.com. But I've done enough talking. I'd like you to hear more about Celebrate Erie from an artist who will be a part of it. Steven Trahosky is a bass player who has been a fixture of the Erie music scene for decades. He's also the co-owner of City Gallery in the Packard Building on State Street, along with his wife, Lena. Steve will open for the Erie All-Stars on Friday night. And Lena is an accomplished artist of many different forms and mediums. Let's just say that she's amazing. Their creative energy is inspiring, and I'm so happy that they'll both be a part of Celebrate Erie once again, and also showcasing the work of local artists in the City Gallery tent, which will be next to the living room stage. You'll be able to enjoy acoustic stylings while you take in all of the beautiful artwork. Steve, would you say a few words about what kind of music is in store for our visitors and residents next week?
Good morning. I'd like to take the opportunity to say hello and talk about a few of the acts that I'm looking forward to seeing next week. One of the acts is, of course, the Erie All-Stars, who will be performing a tribute to Fleetwood Mac. And I will be performing, opening with my band Dance Jones, at 6:30 p.m. on Friday on the Northwest Bank main stage. We go on at 6:30, and we have all kinds of great acts happening during that 3 days. We have acts in Perry Square, acts on the main stage, acts on the living room stage, and you definitely want to check out Friday, the Erie All-Stars. These are some of the best musicians from the area, and they put together a fantastic show every year. Another band I'm really looking forward to is The Collective, which is a new band this year. They play on Sunday at 12:30 p.m. in Perry Square. During Celebrate Erie, when I'm not performing, I try to get around to as many places as I can to see all the acts, from young kids acts and dance acts to worldwide and international musicians. We will have a tent, of course, for City Gallery in the Art District, which will be showcasing multiple artists that weekend. We will be showcasing kids from our summer art camp who did special tributes to Celebrate Erie this year. We'll be showcasing many artists from around the region, as well as our own work, authors and just different mediums. There will be other vendors all through, as well as everyone from stained glass artists to painters to mosaic artists. So it'll be really an amazing thing for all the families to come out and see. I think this celebration brings the community together in so many ways. It brings us together as families. It brings us together as music lovers, as food lovers, as art lovers. And we really get to come out and spend 3 days of seeing what our city really has to give, both culturally and both artistically. So I really look forward to it. And I can't wait for Friday. Mayor?
Thanks much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Steve. Thanks for you're sharing your perspective as well as performing and Lena, we look forward to seeing her as an artist as well. All about the impact and importance of Celebrate Erie. Adrian, thank you also for all the work you're putting into Celebrate Erie. I know this isn't easy, especially the first time you're doing it. You learn a lot, and you'll get better in the years to come. Thanks for all that you've done and continue to do to prepare us for next weekend. I really appreciate everybody that's come together for this. We hope that, as usual, people will come down to enjoy the music and support our local artists and businesses, both within Celebrate Erie footprint, as well as our brick and mortar around in the downtown area, restaurants and shops, including those in the flagship district. In both 2018 and 2019, the city conducted a data center a study that showed Celebrate Erie generated $10 million in economic impact in the Erie region. We believe the impact will be even greater this year, and we are committed to keeping the focus on our local businesses and support their growth and their expansion. My favorite part of Celebrate Erie involves being able to walk around and just talk with vendors and residents. I really enjoy this. I can't get enough of it. It's very good for us all to be together. And during the main stage shows, I enjoy sitting on the Erie Art Museum steps with our sponsors and watching thousands of residents singing and dancing together out in the streets. Year after year, that is what makes all of our hard work worth this. Thanks to the Cafe Board, Adrienne and her team for making all this happen. I specifically want to recognize Kat Blair, who's here with us today, who has really stepped up to help with this. Also Monica Gustin, our digital media and design specialist, who has done incredible work on this as well. I also want to recognize Mike Russo, our product manager, Downtown Dave Tamalonis, who will be helping backstage, Brianna Adams, our volunteer coordinator, and our police, fire, and public works teams for all their work. Pulling off Celebrate Erie is a Herculean effort that takes all year to plan. Thanks to everyone involved for your efforts and to the many volunteers who come out to help as well. I know this is going to be an amazing year. You'll want to see Celebrate Erie. I also want to give a final thank you to our sponsors. They are too many to name all of them, but I especially want to recognize our presenting sponsors. That's Highmark and AHN St. Vincent's, and our main stage sponsor, Northwest Bank. We are very thankful for this collaboration. On the Celebrate Erie website and on the map, you'll find the logos of all of our sponsors. I encourage everyone to take a look at all of our sponsors who help make this possible. We cannot thank them all enough. Before we go, I'd like to talk a moment about the politics and voting. I promise that this topic will not make anyone mad. We are very lucky to be joined today by a group of 11 and 12-year-olds who just completed the Global Leadership Summer Camp at Gannon University. The camp's leader is Anjali Suhe, who is the director of Gannon's School of Public Service and Global Affairs. Anjali is also an associate professor of political science at Gannon University. She helped organize this first ever camp at Gannon. Anjali is a board member also of our New American Council. Dr. Suhe, I appreciate your service with the Leadership Academy. Would you and your students please stand up for a moment so you can be acknowledged with some great applause? Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, you all can be seated. Thank you all very, very much to all of the students for being here today. Here's what I know about Gannon's Global Leadership Summer Camp. I know that you are all middle school students, right? And you have considered the various arguments on each side of many complex global issues and political issues as well. Through the camp's programs, you have developed skills that will help you be better leaders as well as help you enjoy a better life going forward. You have learned about the structure of and related diplomatic training for the Model UN, which is a youth version of the actual International United Nations organization. Now, I've been mayor for a little over 5.5 years, and before that, while working full-time at PNC Bank, I was also an Erie City Councilman for about 5.5 years. If I could have done the Global Leadership Summer Camp like all of you just did, I could have done a better job much more quickly as a city councilman and as the mayor. I hope you all know and will always remember that every governmental position, whether large or small, is here to do just one thing: help people. That is the most important part of my job, finding ways to help the people of Erie. That is why I love this job and what energizes me constantly. Helping people is also what motivates me to fulfill my vision for Erie. And that vision is Erie is a community of choice. We celebrate our rich cultural diversity, our welcoming, vibrant neighborhoods, our world-class downtown and bayfront, our excellent education for everyone, including all of you, and our abundance of good family-sustaining jobs. I hope that as a result of the global leadership training you just completed, you stay interested in public service and find many simple ways to help people in our community. Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it. Now let's talk about a related topic for a moment, your right to vote. Every year we have an election in Pennsylvania. Sometimes it is a municipal election, while local and statewide candidates who want to serve in city, county, or other municipality offices in Erie County and various state offices as well. Sometimes it includes a national election, which features ballot choices for president, for U.S. Congress, and Senate. But whether it is a local or national, every election matters. I know from experience that some of the biggest decisions that impact our lives in Erie are made at the most local levels. Almost every American citizen over the age of 18 has the right to vote. One of the ways that your right to vote is protected is through the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It's a long time ago. I'll talk about that in a moment as well. But having that protection, that right, is why it is so important to vote in every election. For that reason, I've designated August as Voter Registration Month here in Erie. I'd like to read you the proclamation that I signed at the beginning of the month, which sums up the importance of this designation and your rights. Whereas, the Voting Rights Act signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson on August 6, 1965, is a landmark piece of federal legislation which enforced voting rights for all, regardless of gender or racial identity. Whereas, the passing of the Voting Rights Act helped to greatly diversify the electorate, making it more representative of America as a whole. Whereas, each citizen has not only the right to vote, but also a civic obligation and responsibility to vote. So do so. Whereas, in order to reach those who have not fully embraced their rights and responsibilities as citizens, the community must expand opportunities for voter education and nonpartisan voter registration. Whereas, vital contributions toward this can be made by the media, by education, cultural, and religious institutions, by grassroots organizations, and by other entities in both public and the private sectors. Now therefore I, Joseph V. Schember, Mayor of the City of Erie, hereby proclaim the month of August 2023 as Voter Registration Month in the City of Erie. I encourage all citizens to register to vote and to actively engage in the democratic process. I'll conclude now by reminding everyone that Celebrate Erie runs from Friday, August 18th to Sunday, August 20th, right here in downtown Erie. Find everything you need to know at CelebrateErie.com. I look forward to seeing all of you next weekend here on State Street. That concludes this week's press conference. Please continue to follow us on social media for the latest updates on everything happening here in the City of Erie. Everyone who spoke is now available for interviews. Thank you very much for being here and for watching today.